I'll be completely honest with you. I would have sooner bet that my left big toe would rebel against the rest of my biology and start an interbiological war with the rest of my human being before I ever thought I would have to admit that Burasata, of all characters, actually has some aura. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do too. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Here's another fun fact. I know it's on officials, but your boy's gonna be real busy, and it's gonna be like my only time to record, and I don't have time to access or wait for the officials. And when I try to go to the official website, it still wouldn't work for me. So I'm sorry. I know y'all don't like these translations, but I want to be able to get this out to y'all at a relatively decent pace, because I know if I do not record it right now with what I have access to, I will not be able to record it for like another week. I literally recorded the Blue Lock one literally either yesterday or the day before, because I was literally just busy, and I was like, I don't want that to happen again. I feel really bad because a lot of people do actually greatly appreciate my reactions. Trust me, it makes me so happy to provide for you. But in this case, you're gonna suffer with this. I'll try. Once again, the website doesn't like me. I tried to pay for it. I whipped out the credit card and everything. I was ready, but it simply would not load or work for me. So we're here. I know the officials are out. I know these ain't officials. These things happen. But speaking of these things happening, come on now. Come on, it's peak every week, dog. And speaking of peak every week, it does really seem like we're gonna be flipping back and forth. I know there's an episode Nagi chapter that I missed that I need to review. I may review that literally right after this, but I also need to review Four Nights. And I still need to review Each of the Witch. I have reviews I need to catch up on. But with that being the case, looks like we're back with Nagi. And notably, I'm loosely intrigued. Notably, I've gotten to this one quick enough that none of my friends who also read Blue Lock were like, pencil man, let me give you a vague spoiler. So I have no context for the chapter. But I presume this is going to be, once again, Burasata opening the door, if not to Blue Lock, once again, to what is commonly theorized to be an alternative Nagi arc, right? If we aren't going to follow, if Nagi's not going to rejoin the main U20 crew that is Blue Lock, he's probably going to go somewhere else. A lot of people are banking on the fact that he may not actually even be Japanese, because we have no context, despite Nagi having literally his own manga, and I believe a light novel or two. We have no context for where on earth Nagi's family is actually from. In fact, we know his parents are notorious travelers, so a lot of people are assuming he may actually qualify for another nation, and we may see him there. Regardless, this is some way to incorporate Nagi back into the narrative. We're not going to spend this much time on the character just for it to be like, hey, yeah, we're still not bringing it back at all. So let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 308 of Blue Lock, which is known as... Why are you always doing yard work? When I'm about to record, it was dead silent. It was dead. And it bothers me because I can hear it on the mic when I'm editing, so I know y'all can hear it, but I don't want to mess with the audio too much. I already had to lower the audio a little bit because my current ring light still makes noise. I cannot find another ring light to save the life of me, so I've been trying to tone that down and specifically adjust the music to make sure that the buzzing sound that comes from the ring light doesn't get picked up on the mic too much. I don't have that in the background, so regardless, I'm going to mess with the audio somehow. But with that being the case, let's see. Once again, I want to formally apologize for the Burasata voice from a few chapters ago. Don't worry, he's gonna have a more manageable one. Especially considering, I assume he's going to be doing a whole lot of yapping this chapter. So I literally do have to make a voice that doesn't absolutely annihilate my own vocal cords. So let's see. Well, hello there, genius. Burasata approaches Nagi with an eerie smile. What's his objective? To recruit Nagi, I'm guessing, right? Them fat racks. Them fat rat life. I mean, Nagi's wearing big pipe. I mean, obviously, he literally wasn't wearing big paper. Couldn't make top 23. Was valued lower than Nanase. Nanase and Kiora. But regardless, big paper. We know what Burasata is here for. And you know what? As devious, diabolical, and gremlin... Why did I say gremlin? I swear I can speak. Gremlin-esque as Burasata is, as someone who also does kind of live... Well, then again, I live in the States, so obviously everyone's life is kind of chasing a bag, but I respect the bag chasing. Gosh darn it. I think he doesn't really need the bag chase. He needs to ball chase and lose some of that weight. But regardless, I respect the bag chase. Let's see. Now he's looking on who is this? And why does he kind of have aura? Let's see. Who are you? Darn! Then again, do they know? Once again, I kind of got on Isagi's case last chapter. I'm like, dude, did you not do any research in this? How do you not know the other New Gen World 11 members yet? And obviously, once again, I get from a meta-narrative perspective why Isagi wouldn't Google anything, even though it's really contradictory to his character. It's literally because he's meant to be our point of view character. We can't have our point of view character too far ahead of where we are, even if he does have context that we don't, because he is an actual character in universe. It's kind of I've been too Deltarune pilled, but it's kind of how Chris Deltarune, since they are not like a direct parallel one-to-one with the player. They have a whole bunch of information that we don't. But that's like intentional on Toby Fox's part. When he makes Chris the character, he makes sure that they have way more information than us, and they specifically try to hide as much information as possible for the sake of the narrative. But in direct opposite to that point, Isagi is literally our point of view character who we're supposed to be viewing everything through. So we can't have him way too far ahead of our perspective. So he can't do things that would be really, really obvious, like looking at plays beforehand, studying tactics, seeing what players he's going to be going up against. Like, it's not a thing he's allowed to do, but it does feel weird in contrast to a character who's so, like, deeply... His whole ideology is about inputting data and information and, like, having prep time. But he's not prep timing at all, apparently. How did you not recognize one of the starters for Barca? Like, what? Let's see. All that was to say, it makes sense that Nagi wouldn't know this guy, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, no one actually knows this guy. Like, in the grand scheme of the narrative, I don't think Batsuta ever even spoke to them. If anything, the most they would have seen of him was at the U20 game, right? Like, he was, like, up in the stands, far enough away that unless they knew to look up there, which I highly doubt they were, they wouldn't have seen him. I don't think they have, like, any context for the background of the Blue Lock program, so it makes sense that they wouldn't know him. I still find it crazy that he said he didn't know anything about Bunny. But, you know, once again, plot, perspective, bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Who are you? The chairman of the JFU? Wait, no. I want to give him a bit more gravel. That's the thing. He does have aura, so I can actually give him a normal voice. I made such a mockery of him before. I was like, he's never gonna get aura. But, like, the umbrella in there, like, it was a little bit of aura for him. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it kind of got me. Let's see. I almost went to the old voice. I'm so sorry. The chairman of the JFU. You've seen me before, right? I'm Batsuta. What? I keep saying Batsuta. Where did it get? It's Batsuta. I reversed the U and the A here. I don't know why. It's a Batsuta. Okay, fine. So, what do you want from me? No, he's like, I don't even know what that means, gang. Like, I'm literally just here. I'm literally here to put the ball in the net, bro. Everyone in the fandom has been saying, tell me to put the fries in the bag at this point. Especially, like, Nagi, you want to talk about a fall from grace. A lot of people, myself included, are definitely appreciating this point in his character arc, in his character writing. But I've seen a whole bunch of people, even like former Nagi fans, completely flip on the character. And I was one of them. But once again, you know, a little bit of time passes and suddenly I'm like, wait a minute, this is peak. But I've seen a lot of people actually really annoyed that we keep getting Nagi perspectives. And I'm like, get this dumb, doo-doo-water, worthless bum out the narrative, dog. Why is he here? But I'm intrigued. Let's see. So, what do you want from me? Oh, but all that was to say, I've seen so many, like, Nagi putting the fries in the bag be. Like, I've seen this man 5-stage revolver, like, literally 5-stage revolver fake out shot, whatever it's called. I completely forget. Volley, whatever. A whole, like, combo meal. Like, the drink, the nugs, the burger, the fries, and the condiment. Like straight doing it into a bag. Like, the goal was replaced with, like, a big McDonald's bag, and it just went straight. That was actually kind of crazy. But let's see. Don't you want to crush Jinpachi's ego? Debatable? I mean, like, the thing is, I don't even think Nagi really holds much resentment towards Ego himself. Like, notably, when we saw him leave, he wasn't like, oh, Ego, it was Rayo. And you saw you were like, Ego's on. Sorry, you got the wrong guy whose name starts with N-A up there. Shouldn't that be Nagi? But Nagi himself was like, yeah, I did kind of fumble the bag. I was getting a lot of chances to not fumble the bag. So, like even Nagi knew it's kind of just ball up top, bro. Like, you got to keep it going. But let's see. You have undeniable talent, and yet he kicked you. I'm giving him the Taurus voice. Am I really giving Batsuta the Taurus voice? For those who don't know, Taurus is a character from Sakamoto Days, who I really, really love. He's really one of my favorite characters of the series. But I think I am. Because it fits him. I think it, ironically enough, it fits Batsuta. And I can't, and once again, I would put, like, more jowls into it, but for me to put more jowls into a voice, I kind of have to hit the... And, like, that was the main reason why a bunch of y'all couldn't understand the voice previously. So I'm going to stick with just the flat Taurus voice, because I haven't given that to anyone in Blue Lock, because notably a lot of the Blue Lock cast is younger, so I don't actually, like, go super deep into the register here. But Batsuta, he's an older gentleman. I can give him this voice. Let's see. You have undeniable talent, and yet he kicked you out of Blue Lock. Surely I'm not the only one who thinks that's strange. Well, once again, he does have undeniable talent, but it's so like, how do I put this? See, I can't even say, like, Moody, Bibarel, and Bidoof, because, like, they were so consistent they had to get banned. What's a good example? It's kind of like... what's a good Gen 9 example I'm specifically looking for? Like, my brain is like leaping back to Gen 8 because I actually really love Gen 8 OU. But specifically for a Gen 9 example, it's kind of like Chomp, right? Like, Garchomp is UUBL right now, I'm pretty sure. Still, I haven't touched Showdown a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's still UUBL. And the reason that is like, you put Chomp in the right scenarios. I literally have a team on Showdown that's like built around Chomp. You put it in the right scenarios, you get in the right Terra type. I typically Terra Steel or sometimes Terra Flying. I don't know why I Terra Flying now. I specifically Terra Flying because people think I Terra Steel. And they'll like dodge an Earthquake and get a free setup. But essentially, you get the right move, you run Swords Dance, Scale Shot, Stone Edge, Earthquake. You can kind of go crazy, but it's so situational that you would rather go with one of the better Dragon types. Like, you'd rather have the safety of a Dragonite, you'd rather have the safety of a Dragapult, or of a Kyurem. Like there are other better dragons that do the same kind of thing that Chomp can do more effectively, and sometimes with less setup. Obviously, you're always pretty much, you never don't want to set up with Dragonite. Like, you do want to set up with Dragonite. But, like, especially when you have Pult and Kyurem running around, which can just, you can smack a Choice Specs or smack a Scarf on Kyurem specifically, and just let them tenderize the entire rest of the tier. Why would you go out of your way to use Garchomp? And it's the same thing for Nagi, right? He does have that, like, crazy, hey, you play him right, he plays right, he goes absolutely insane, produces one of the best goals in the series, right? But when you have your Boros, when you have your Rins, you have your Isagis, you have your, I couldn't kind of question, but you have your Chigiris, you have your Batsuta, like, you have so many other options. You sort of start looking into, okay, what other roles can they play, and where else can I plug them? And once again, I clearly know nothing about soccer. Thank you to everyone who corrected me on how, like, a team is formatted. I didn't know that there could be 3 strikers. It's forwards versus strikers. Legitimately haven't played soccer, haven't touched soccer in years. So I appreciate all the corrections for that. And one of the biggest things there is the idea that even if Blue Lock is composed, Shido, I completely forgot about him, but even if Blue Lock is composed of majority strikers, you can still have, like, a variety of options and builds, because a lot of the team players can do different things depending on the setup. Like, Baro, he could be a lead striker, he could play the Joker role, he could do a mix of both depending on how the team is built. Rin could be a good team facilitator, a good team player, he could go absolutely crazy on his own, you kind of have to work around him. Isagi, it's just like he kind of just is the team player, but and like he's the ultimate facilitator, so you kind of always want Isagi there. Bachiro, once again, he's a good mix. Like, that's the thing, everyone else has options and flexibility that Nagi kind of just doesn't have. He can definitely use his abilities in different unique ways. Like, I still remember him using, like, a weird version. Well, actually, no, that was Rayo who was copying him. So, like, realistically, Nagi, he's so locked to a specific thing, and he just hasn't shown the diversity required, that I don't blame him for being kicked out when there's so many other better strikers, and there are comparable, if not flat out, better midfielders, and definitely better defenders. So, like, it is crazy, but Ego and the Auctioneers, like, they were kind of, with what Nagi showed, I don't blame them for coming to that assumption. Even, like, and I've even softened on Nanase getting above them, right? Because after a certain point, you do need role players, right? Like, notably, for an NBA analogy, once again, I'm actually not too versed in the NBA. I only recently got into basketball, so take everything I say, or about to say, with a grain of salt. But essentially, you really, as cool as it is to have, like, your Team USAs, where it's just, like, a team full of superstar and superstar and superstar, as crazy, as monstrous, as devious as a LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Ant-Man, insert other player here, Tyree, like, as crazy and as dumb and as stupid as those teams seem, you kind of don't want a whole team of superstars. Not only because it would stretch your budget immensely, and you wouldn't really be able to play anyone else, you'd have no depth. Looking at you, the Knicks. But regardless, also you run into an issue where without role players, you don't have anyone to fill that space. You could have 5 good elite scorers, but where's your defense at? Where's your defense at? So, like, that's the thing. Blue Lock had enough strikers. the Blue Lock 33, they had enough. So I get letting Nagi of all characters go, because he's the one that hasn't really shown that crazy level of diversity that literally almost every other striker has. The only other person who could say is, like, super duper locked is Shida, right? Because Shida hasn't really performed any other role. Like, he has, like, minor defensive feats, but, like, they're so, like, Shido he's a goal merchant, and that's fine. The main reason it's fine is because he, like, actually showed results, unlike Nagi. Let's see. I don't know. Did see? No, he's like, I mean, like, you may be kind of spitting this a little bit weird, but the rest of Blue Lock is really talented, gang. I don't know, they're kind of built like that. The minimum number of players in a team for the U20 World Cup is 20. Oh, so we are. Okay, so we are bringing this up. Alright. So I wasn't crazy when I thought about that, and I looked that up. All right, but
The maximum number is 26.
Once again, why is he low-key? It's, you know what? I think Rain is cheating. I think Rain, you put anybody in the Rain, umbrella or no umbrella, and as long as they aren't like doing what Nagi's doing and looking all sad and depressed and stuff like that, even sometimes you can look sad and depressed and still be horrifying. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is just a thing that can happen. So Batsuta, he's cheating using the Rain. It's like an insane aura buff. I ain't gonna lie to you. But once again, the paneling too, it's just really good job. Namor can make anything look cool. Namor can make making a sandwich the most epic thing ever. I'm telling you, this man's so good as an artist. Let's see.
The maximum number is 26. It's up to the team to decide if they want to use it, but I previously made a promise to Jinpachi Ego. I'll provide the funds for Bullock TV.
So that does it. I'll admit, this chapter in this instance makes the previous discussion you had with Ego very, very strange. Like if you did have this always built in, and I'll admit, I definitely was wondering about Sei. Like the way that previous chapter talked about the whole idea of, oh, this is what's gonna happen no matter what, because I'm the one who runs everything. I'm the god of this program. I choose 23, and if I'm forced to take anyone else but these 23, I'm quitting, and you can take care of it. And Batsuta acquiesced. It really felt like he couldn't add anything, which was weird because Sei wasn't included. And like, why would you not include Sei? Like, even from an Ego perspective, and I'm specifically talking about Ego Jinpachi, why would you not include Sei? But I'm guessing Batsuta, he's using like these last 3 for himself, and I'm assuming Sei has to be one of them, right? Like, once again, I've seen a lot of hot debate on whether or not Sei is going to join the U20 team, but like, especially with the end of last chapter, he has to. Like he has, especially considering. Once again, I do get it. The main people who are scared of Sei joining are the fellow Hiyori fans. We're real scared. We're real scared of Sei joining. Because he basically just deletes that character. I'm sorry, as much as I love Hiyori, Sei's a better midfielder. And don't get me wrong, oh, but Sei's been power crap. Like, yeah, kinda. But it doesn't matter. It's just like, it's like how Kaiser's gonna be relevant when we see him again. It's like how, like, Darn near any character is gonna be relevant no matter how much time passes when we see them again, as long as we see them again. Like, it's gonna happen. Sei, he no matter how, like, insane the power clipping is in Blue Lock relative to previous arcs, like, basically every single, like, I think the best example is start of the Neo Aegis League itself. Kunigami in the wildcard program did so much better than literally every other Blue Locker who joined BM, and that was presumably the case because he got so much extra training and stats and amps. Meaning, you throw that Kunigami, even back in the U20 game or anything before that, he absolutely stomps. Same case for, like, the Neo Aegis League cast. If you throw them back into any of the early arcs, they absolutely go crazy. You throw a Neo Aegis League Isagi into the U20 match, and it's actually a wash. Even with Sei, if Sei stays the exact same, it doesn't, like, level up or something, or doesn't, like, use his full strength from the start, like, they genuinely violate. With everyone else being the same, just Neo Aegis League Isagi being thrown back in the U20 game goes absolutely buku bonkers with Metavision and all that stuff. So, I get why a lot of people are like, Sei should be power crept, Sei should be power crept. He's a New Gen World 11 member. He wasn't going all out. And he's a little bit too, he's like too narratively important. So, like, that's the thing. Hiyori will have to be pushed to the wayside. Unlike a midfielder like Reo or Karasu or anybody like that, where, like, you can definitely say, oh, well, they could have an alternative purpose. Hiyori is just watered down Sei. Why are you going for the watered down version if you can have the main drink? Let's see.
I'll provide the funds for Bullock TV. Soccer is a business, after all. I get to choose the remaining 3 players.
Yeah, so that previous chapter was weird. I think that, if I have to admit, because I've seen a lot of people complain, like, oh, we're kind of wasting a whole bunch of time right now, like, we should just be leaping into the U20 World Cup. I disagree. I do think we do need a little bit of a cooldown for the New Aegis League. Like, if this is, like, a nice 10, possibly even 15, and I know y'all will be like, 10, 15? Pencil, are you insane? But once again, I actually don't think that we're going to be restricted to another 150 chapter run for the U20 World Cup arc. I don't think we're going to be limited to that, like, at all. I genuinely don't think that. I think we're going to be well beyond that point. So I don't mind this bit of cooldown and this bit of character interplay and character development. So, like, I'm perfectly fine with it. But I've seen a lot of people complain about the pacing of this, and, like, we're going a little too slow. We should be moving faster. And if I had to agree on that, it'd be for that previous chapter where Batsuta was telling Ego to bring Nagi back, and Ego was like, no, there's no scenario at all, you can do this. And a lot of us who remember the Batsuta deal that we never got to see were like, that doesn't make sense. What happened to the deal? And here's the deal. So, like, that chapter does feel weird. And that was a big chunk of that chapter, too. So that does feel very strange. Let's see.
In other words, apart from the 23 players chosen by Ego, the Batsuta, I swear this pencil guy can't read my name, the Batsuta 3, chosen by me, will get a chance to represent Japan in the U20 World Cup. Wouldn't you like to be one of those 3 players, Sashiro Nagi?
I bet he would. But what's the catch? Yeah, and obviously, something had to do about that. So what's the catch? Even Nagi's eyes lit up like, I can go back. He's like an addict getting reintroduced immediately, like, oh, the dopamine rush, I can feel it in my bones. Let's see. Oh, okay, so you immediately conditions.
There are conditions, though. First, you have to win in the selection I planned.
That should be some light work, dog. Who's the competition? Let's see.
Second, if you get chosen for the Batsuta 3, I'll take care of all your contracts and management of your soccer career. To put it simply, all your soccer life from now on will be my property.
Ah, okay. So he becomes their manager eternally, and I assume, considering he is the head of the Japan football JFU, I'm not sure what the union, I'm not sure, but essentially, considering he is the head, I am assuming he literally could, like, he can do the same thing Ego did, right? Because technically, at the moment, Nagi is blacklisted from playing professionally for Japan because he's not in Blue Lock. So by pure technicality, Batsuta likely has that same power, and if anything, he grants Ego that power. The whole idea of like them going godhood for godhood a few chapters back, Batsuta probably does have the exact same ability to be like, if you try to quit after you join the Batsuta 3, bada bing bada boom, you're cooked, Buckaroo. That's a hard bargain, but I get it. Let's see. And once again, it all comes down to the paper.
And third, when you go back to Blue Lock, you'll play soccer. You'll play soccer to prove that Ego's methods were wrong.
How though? Like one, not only are they following Ego's commands naturally, but also like so far it hasn't been. Like every single player in the world we've seen so far has had Ego. Some like I literally think that's impossible. Okay, but let's see.
That will push him into resigning, and I'll become the boss of Blue Lock. What do you say?
I mean, like the only thing now let me put myself in Nagi's shoes here. If I'm really fiending, itching, scratching, hungry, and looking for it, I need to get back in the guts of Blue Lock. I'm scratching for it, dog. I mean, man, sometimes you just gotta take a deal. like low-key. And obviously, it doesn't sound fun being bossed around and having your whole career controlled by this old Tanuki man. But very specifically, unless that other plotline comes in and Nagi does literally is not actually from Japan and his family could like get him set up somewhere else. He is currently blacklisted. Like he can't do it. Like he can maybe go play for university, but like so low level. And once again, until proven otherwise, that blacklist thing is real. He can't play for Japan. And if he is truly just Japanese, like this is his only path back. Because Ego's sure not taking him back. Henri threatened to call the cops on the man. Like genuinely, I saw people say though that it may have been Henri who called Batsuta here. It may have been like, he's outside. If you want to recruit him right now, I know you couldn't find him at the school, and he came here because of that. But outside of like that theory, Ego and Henri both threatened to call the cops on him for trespassing. So like this is literally his only option. Yeah, he has no other way to get back in. And in that case, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Obviously, sacrifices are sacrifices, but like, I think about it in the same way that I think of any work, right? Like, unless you are a full-time entrepreneur, or like, say you're one of the few who, or not few, I mean, it's getting more common now, but say you're one of like the 100,000 people, because I'm not sure how many like real like full-time content creators there are, where like all they do is content creation, where you are your own boss. You choose when you post, when you upload, when you chat, when you yap, all that, when you stream. Essentially, you always sign your life away to somebody else. Always. Even obviously, no, not to the same degree, but even CEOs, in a way, sign their lives away to the board. Because the board can just replace the CEO at any time. If they think the CEO isn't doing good for the company, then just scoot them right out. That can happen. So, you always sign your life away to something. I guess the only difference is, though, whenever you sign up for a job, you aren't typically signing up permanently, unless that job has certain things to it that may lock you off from other things permanently. But in this case, you are setting on permanently. But it's a gamble. Very specifically, I think Nagi has no choice but to take. Right? Like it's one of those times where no matter what, you have to play the hand. What's a good example? It's like when you know you're fighting an uphill battle in Magic, but you have a strat. You have a way to come back into the game, and you know if you don't play it in that moment, it's over. I very specifically think of a game I played with one of my friends a while back. Not a while back. It was actually relatively. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I was playing a deck that was we were both playing Commander. It was just 1v1. And I was playing a deck that so heavily relied on the Commander, but he kept killing it. Like, no matter what I did, like, no matter what, he kept slaughtering it. But it was a deck that was so land-focused that I had, like, a bunch of land. So even though the Commander cost kept going up and up and up and up and up, like I think by the end of the game, I had a Commander cost of 13 land in order to bring Knight Commander back out. But the deck was so heavily based on it, I was like, I got it. I got it. Of course, I was still summoning other monsters and stuff on that one. It wasn't just to bring back the Commander. But still, it's that idea where I just didn't have a choice. If I wanted to win that game, I had to bring in the Commander, even if it did cost 13 mana. Could have cost 15 mana. Could have cost 17 mana. No matter what, I had to bring it back. And I think this is the case with Nagi, where if he wants to go back, if he wants to continue playing the game, in this case, literally, sometimes you just gotta, to quote Dr. Vasilier, won't you shake a poor fat man's hand? That's not what Vasilier. Oh, once again, he's actually got He's actually got aura, y'all. like I'm not hallucinating. This is genuine aura. The octopus is very, very interesting, though. And I think it's a fitting aura for Bodhisattva. He wraps you up, and he very specifically sucks onto you. But at the same time, octopuses are devoured by a variety of creatures, humans included. And also, the suction cups of an octopus, while strong, are not inescapable. Neither are its binds. So I think it's very purposeful that Bodhisattva, he's a very powerful, very large, very intelligent creature, very multi-faced and multi-handed, multi-armed, but not inescapable, not truly ultimately binding, allowing Nagi a path out eventually if he manages to find his own way. Under the Bodhisattva. Batsuta 3.
Wouldn't you like to take over Blue Lock with me?
No, though. I don't think Nagi would. Once again, Nagi loves Blue Lock. Because it gave him purpose, unironically. Obviously, Rayo initially gave him purpose. Then Blue Lock really gave him purpose. So, I don't think he actually wants to take it. He just wants to go back. But I guess maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe he needs to adopt the mentality of taking it over. Maybe he needs to, develop that greed, right? Because, why go back if you're just going to sit on the bench the entire time? Okay, cool, get to train with them. Not the same as being on the pitch. Not the same as getting fired. I don't know, man. As much as I do love practicing and helping other people, there's something about doing it yourself that just always hits different. So let's see.
I could go back to Blue Lock. And I could be with them again.
Interesting picks here. I wonder why Rin specifically here. I mean, obviously I get Isagi, I get Rayo, but interesting that Rin is here as one of the people that Nagi wants to rejoin. Let's see.
No.
But oh,
no, but I can't do that. Huh? Ego-san isn't wrong.
I mean, once again, legally speaking, he's not. Even the strongest striker in the world has an ego. Very specifically, he has an ego and a greed that was actively manipulated by Ego himself. So to say that Ego is wrong is to just genuinely deny the cold hard facts of the scenario. Hey, I've had copium before too. It's delicious, but in that case, I don't think so, man. And once again, I think it's absurd to think that any outside of maybe say himself, because I'm assuming he has to be in the Batsuta 3. Outside of him, who do you expect to actually take over Blue Lock? Who do you expect to surpass Rin, Isagi, Shido, Bara, Chigiri, all of them? Legit, who do you expect to do that? Even Nagi, why do you expect that of him? I think Bodhisattva, once again, representing the color-changing nature of the octopus. He doesn't the impermanent grip of the octopus. He doesn't really have a solid grasp of reality. He's so focused on bag chasing and taking over everything that he doesn't realize that what he's asking for is fundamentally impossible. At least for the third thing. First two things, reasonable. Pass the selection. He can choose the selection he wants. Second thing, control the football careers. Sign a contract. That's binding. Actually, is Nagi an adult? Yeah, I think Nagi is an adult. So it is binding. But outside of that. That third thing, I don't think you can do it. Let's see.
Ego-san isn't wrong.
What?
What? If you think he's not wrong, then why are you here, You still can't let go, right?
Well, he can't let go because, like, Ego awakened to fire within him. He wants to go back to Blue Lock for Blue Lock. Not just to get on the pit. And once again, that goes to show Bodhisattva's fundamental misunderstanding of Blue Lock as a whole, and very specifically Nagi. And as he admitted all those chapters ago, when he was talking with Ego for the first time, that chapter I still think is weird now in retrospect. He did flat out admit, why'd you get rid of him? He seems popular. People like him. Goal of the century and all that. I don't care. I don't know what that means. So he just doesn't know Nagi, and he still doesn't understand Blue Lock. And I wonder, once again, since we're giving Bodhisattva an entire volume cover, we're giving him an Ego, like ironically, despite him hating Ego, we're giving him an Ego, an aura, and everything. I wonder if that will be his long-term narrative arc. The idea of understanding that, wait a minute, as much as I don't like this Ego guy, he's low-key like he knows ball. Ironically, Ego knows ball, so maybe that'll be what Bodhisattva has to learn.
You still want to play soccer in Blue Lock, right?
Yeah, he wants to play soccer in Blue Lock. He doesn't want to overtake it.
Ego-san created Blue Lock. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be fired up playing with Isagi and Reo.
I mean, yeah. And, like, notably, I still think that is a weakness of Nagi. He still doesn't, like... And it's... I keep going back between... Especially because I was having a discussion with a friend. And they relate to Nagi heavily. Because they are also a person who's mostly driven by external factors. And they were breaking it down, explaining it to me, like, yeah, you know, it's fine to be self-motivated. In fact, they at least deeply respect people who are self-motivated entirely, who, like, don't really need much external push and will kind of just do things regardless of how they're going. But they admit it's like a thing where that base human desire to connect is so strong that without it, there's, like, no reason to do almost anything. And while I can't understand it, I know why Nagi feels that way. But in this case, it's actively holding him back. Right now, even though it's that gamble, it's that dangerous play, he should take this deal. Not just because he'd be allowed to play with Isagi and Reo again, but very specifically because he'd be doing something in all for himself, selfishly, which is one of the biggest things that Ego wants out of these players. He wants them to have their own internal greedy motivations and desires. And that could be Nagi's, but right now, it's his love and respect for Blue Lock that is preventing him from actually rejoining Blue Lock. Which is a very, very interesting way to take it. But once again, like, we're not getting rid of him. We're spending way too much time with him for him to not be relevant in some way. So let's say.
What are you saying? You're just a stepping stone for their dreams. Jinpachi Ego is a heartless fool.
I don't have a mirror near me. I don't. Bodhisattva. Look in one, dog. Look in one. Let's see.
Even so, it's because of Ego-san. This place is full of passion. I can't push it.
But look at those eyes, man. See, like, this is like a good solid moment for Nagi's character, but it's his biggest weakness. Is it like, and notably, it is weird, right? Especially as a person, at least me specifically, I actually do believe that you should be kind. You should not be selfish. You should be, like, a good person when to reach out and interact and connect to the most people, because I feel like that's what humans are built for. Humans are not antisocial. Well, I mean, humans can end up being antisocial and introverted. That is a thing. But humans, at least on a broad scale, are not intrapersonal creatures. They don't, like, thrive in solitude commonly. And it's that reason why I say, oh no, you should help as many people as you can whenever you can, as long as you can. But in this case, by not wanting to betray Blue Lock, by not being selfish, it's funny. In his unwillingness to betray Blue Lock, he's betraying what Blue Lock is all about. One of the biggest things about Isagi that has been hammered home by Kaneshiro Sensei, and even the narrative itself, is that Isagi's willing to do anything as long as he can keep moving forward. Now, do I think this is true Ego? No. But regardless, he's shown, and Rin has shown, and Nagi, and Shigiri has shown, I specifically remember in the episode Nagi chapter, and Reo, and Otoya, and Sendo, and Baro, and Shido, and every single Blue Lock who made, even Nanase, has shown that willingness, that no matter what, as long as they're able to move forward by doing something, even if it feels wrong to them, they'll do it. They'll do it. Because sometimes, you gotta do what you gotta do in order to succeed. Life is tough. You can't have all sunshine and rainbows all the time. And right now, Nagi just doesn't realize that. So, dare I say, even if this is a character appropriate choice, and I do like what it means for Nagi and his respect for Blue Lock, it's just genuinely just the wrong. This is the wrong play, and I'm assuming he cannot stick to this. There's no way. Once again, unless something else has to happen, dog. We are not dropping Nagi, bro. Unless we're not dropping him. I can't betray Blue Lock.
Right. Protect your worthless self like that. And you're gonna spend the rest of your life thinking about how amazing you were back then. You won't throw away your pride, even at rock bottom, you prideful chicken.
That's the chapter. I see what you did there. But, now hold on. We're gonna take a sip. I'm gonna take a little sip. I'm gonna mute, because I feel bad drinking in y'all ears. The two things I despise. Hold on. Two things that I despise. I do not like when people burp in my ear. And I don't like when people drink or eat. Like, I know there are all those ASMR videos that, like, people just eating and drinking. I block them immediately. Like, specifically if I'm scrolling on one of the other apps, and I get hit with, like, one of those mukbangs, people just... Sorry, I ain't doing that. But I immediately block. I hate that sound, and I hate when people burp or belch in my ear. I don't know what it is about that specifically. I don't mind coughing. But for some reason, belching in my ear just... I referenced this before, but Kenny Boy G's first 2 videos on his channel, amazing Deltarune content creator, he has 2 burps, or I think 3 in his first one, and 1 burp in the second one. And I've watched those videos over and over and over again because I just love how they're presented. I love listening to his voice. I love listening to the theories, even if they are literally all just disproven by chapter 3 and 4. Regardless, I love hearing them. But my favorite video of his is his most recent one because it doesn't have any burps. That and the Stallinger one, they don't have any burps, and I don't have to like patiently wait and go on sense memory to immediately skip, because I don't know, it just feels uncomfortable. And I feel the same thing about drinking, so that's why I was trying to mute the mic. But I tried to mute the mic as much. If you realize, I've been going dehydrated in a lot of the reviews recently because I've been trying to avoid slurping in people's ears or pausing too much because of everything else goes into that. But let's see. But this is crazy. I low-key, I kind of agree with Batsuta though, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I think you should have a strong sense of self always. I do believe you should have a strong ego, right? Like, you should not allow yourself to be led astray. But I can think of many times in my life where if I had stuck just purely to my pride and principles, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't have a TikTok. I wouldn't have an Instagram. I wouldn't have none of that. If I had stuck to my pride, I literally would not be. You and I would not be in this moment. For the longest time, I never wanted to do content creation. I was told to do it all the time. I just never did it. I was like, oh, no, I don't feel like it. No, I don't think that's me. I've done it before. I don't think I'll do it. I was very stubborn in my ways. But then one day I was like, man, we ball. And we've been balling for like 7 years now. And I'm not good at balling, but we've been balling. Same thing with TikTok. Even when I was content creating here on YouTube, I was like, no, I'm never going to get a TikTok. That's weird. That's dumb. That's stupid. Now you got a TikTok. Bada bing, bada boom. We ball. So like, there are times where you do have to give up yourself, because sometimes you do, like, not even sometimes, you very often get in your own way. As a person who consistently gets in his own way, you will always somehow, some way get in your own way. It's like a feature of humanity. I don't know why, but I do be shadowboxing myself and losing. And I even shadowbox, I just be getting whooped. So yeah, there are times where you need to give up on what you believe in, because it can allow you to do something greater, something better. Oh, he actually kicked water at Nagi. Let's see. Even Nagi's like, oh, he may be spitting right now. Let's see.
Huh? Hello? Say Toshi.
Oh! Well, it's good to see you, Buckaroo.
Say Toshi.
Oh, let me mute a little bit. It's saying, the groups have been decided for the U20 World Cup. Japan is in Group A. Nigeria! Okay. I think y'all know me well. I'm Nigerian, if you couldn't tell. Most people can tell. Notably, I obviously, I have a Nigerian last name. Pencil. With a Y. So obviously, it's a very Nigerian last name. But thing is though, Nigeria sucks at soccer. At least they haven't performed very, very well in years. But that aside, people can tell with like no information. I have no idea how, because I don't look like the Nigerian side of my family. I look like my mom's side of the family, who isn't Nigerian. She's just African American. So I don't know what it is about me. Most people can automatically tell I'm Nigerian. So Nigeria! Oh, they're probably gonna get bounced immediately. Let's see. And they're the only one unestablished? Alright. Japan is in Group A with Nigeria, England, and France. Wait. We can't wait. Please tell me they're like fighting England, dog. Like or fight. No, Nigeria, please. Loki, don't bounce Nigeria. Nigeria's gonna get bounced regardless, dog. There's no way Nigeria succeeds, dog. Like England has. Then again, who does England have? Now think about it. Obviously, we see Loki and Charles here because they like active characters. Is Aki? Was he a U20 player? I don't think so. So maybe, yeah. Like obviously these two are both getting bounced. I think the first it's groups, right? And like the top two teams get to move on. So obviously Japan has to move on, and obviously France has to move on. So I'm assuming these two are gonna play these two and probably bounce them. I'm guessing. So the question is, who's Loki gonna curve stop? Let's see. Japan is in Group A with Nigeria, England, and France. And we ball. Let's see.
Huh? What? They're super strong.
Wait.
What?
Sorry, I lost the tourist voice for a second there.
Huh? What? They're super strong, and we can advance if we're not in top 2. Well, one of the spots in the Batsuta 3 is already reserved for you, Seikun. You don't have to pass the selection either.
Like no duh. Yeah, obviously, but he's the new Gen 1 member. Let's see.
For the sake of the brand and money of Japanese soccer, you're gonna join the team and get at least past the group stage, right? Right?
I mean, they have to, right? Like, as big as a fan as I am of the idea that Blue Lock will lose the U20 World Cup, and it may like come at a drastic cost. I know a lot of people are saying Shigiri breaking his leg, but I'd rather slice Yukimai's eyes. He's already wielding the sword. Just take it to his eyes. If we're gonna sacrifice a speedster, sacrifice Yukimaya way before you sacrifice Shigiri. But with that being the case, like, I wonder, we're probably gonna meet him in groups, but then once we get to, like, to the actual proper tournament, they're gonna be on the other side. There's no way we're starting with France. We just aren't doing it. We're gonna take the strongest current U20 player, we're gonna put him up against Japan in round 1 and bounce him. Like, come on now. Like, there's no way we're bouncing France either. Like, there's no way Japan actually beats France, because then, like, what's the rest of the tournament for? I know we have to fight the other New Gen 11 members, but like, Loki is so good, he's not even one of the New Gen 11 members. He's just him. He's even more him than Luna. Realize it. As crazy as Luna's stats spread was, a lot of y'all pointed out that I just didn't read the phone that he saw you pulled up. There's a whole bunch of crazy stats about Luna that shows like he's dumb, stupid, cracked in of himself, but he's not Loki cracked. No one is Loki cracked out of the U20 crew. So, like, we cannot fight this guy right now. But at the same time, with Sei being involved, presumably Spain is going to be, like, one of the final big bad bosses. So who's going to come first? Like, I think Spain has to come first. There's no way we're fighting France. Was it?
Right?
Yeah, about that. I'm not joining for the group. What? You, okay, kind of sure. This is because you want Yuri to be relevant, isn't it? Because there's, why?
What?
Even me too, but something.
What?
I'll participate in this U20 World Cup only to play against Spain. They're gonna. So I don't like that. I don't like that. That's a little. Okay. I get why this is happening. It's literally so every other midfielder doesn't get power cut by saying. That's it. That's the only reason this is happening. But at the same time, what's the point? Like, obviously we're gonna get, like, he has to join round start for the real U20 World Cup. Like, this just hard line confirms to me. This whole instance right here confirms two things. One, they're going to lose this one. They are one hard line going to lose the U20 World Cup. They are. I can feel it in my bones already. They're going to lose. And Sei's going to start round start in the World Cup arc itself. But at the same time, I can see how I'm hard locked into that they're going to lose now. But I could easily see how people hard lock this into a win. Because one, obviously, they have to reach Spain. We have to see Sei play with Blue Lock, so they're going to have to reach Spain. That is just kind of a law of nature at this point. But at the same time, while they do have to reach Spain, Spain may not actually be in the finals. It may be France. So, like, whoever you think the final boss is, if it's Spain, then they may make it to the finals. But ultimately, I think regardless, they're going to lose. Something about, like, and I don't. But see, that's the thing. If you're so worried, because I'm assuming the meta narrative reason behind this is one, to build up more hype for Sei, which I think is kind of crazy at this point. Like, he's already been hyped to Luna back. We've gone over 150 chapters with the other guy. You might as well include him. But it's very specifically so characters like Hiyori and characters like Karasu don't become relevant. And, like, obviously, Karasu, the thing is, Hiyori's the watered down Sei. But a character like Karasu is still useful, even alongside Sei. In fact, he probably only gets better, because of what Sei allows for facilitation and stuff like that. But especially considering the whole U20 game was about, say, finding a striker that could change the world, and, like, testing Blue Lock to see if they were actually worthy of him, for him to not join early on, that does feel kind of, once again, this whole chapter feels kind of weird and icky, because it feels like it's contradicting previous stuff. Like, the whole earlier idea of the previous chapter where what is it? What is it? Where is it? Batsuta? Not Batsuta. It's Bura. What? I'm getting mad. Let's see. Batsuta. The whole idea of the Batsuta 3 makes sense, but it feels contradictory to a chapter we had not 5 chapters ago. And at the same time, Sei not playing with Japan until Spain. While it does once again hype up the dynamic between him and Luna, I kind of don't care, because I don't know Luna as a character, and we haven't had enough of Sei. I'm sorry, the man can aura farm all he wants, but it's actually really, really bad that he's not playing with the team, because that means he's going to have to learn live on the pitch with them. The whole point of him playing with the team throughout is so he can prepare and get synced in and figure out how the team functions, so he can be better served as a midfielder and as a facilitator. I know Sei's whole thing is, like, evolving the strikers he plays with, but at the same time, dude, it's like the dumbest way you could have played it. And I know it's only there so certain characters don't become relevant. We'll have him join for, like, one match. And notably, maybe this is maybe, you know what, though? Maybe this is one of these Ragnar Skin Legion things. Maybe he says something different in officials. I don't actually know. So, maybe this is different there, but this seems like a weird narrative choice. If this is actually different in officials, please let me know, because this just feels strange. Let's see.
Alright, I'll keep this spot open for you, so you can join Japan for the finals. Yeah, if I don't change my mind. Change your mind and... See, yeah, no, yeah, I don't like this. I'll be honest. Hold on, let me take another sip real quick. We're at the end. Did you drink water today? Stay hydrated. But... just right now, there's currently a heat wave going around. Or not even a heat wave, like a heat dome. But with it being the case, I don't like this. Yeah, if I don't change my mind. Well, if Japan can win at this stage without me, they're worthless. No. Say, like, once again, you can't do that, man. No, like, I don't know. Maybe this is a me thing. This chapter, like, I'm not wrong, like, Nagi is the real core of the chapter. But then I actually do, I like the idea of the Batsuta 3. Batsuta. I do like the idea of the Batsuta 3. It just feels weird with the previous stuff. And this feels weird too. Say, the whole U20 game was them proving, Blue Lock itself proving its existence to you. And overcoming you. That was like the whole point of that. You even acknowledged 2 separate strikers. Before the U20 match, you acknowledged Shido. And then after the U20 match, you acknowledged Isagi. Who, presumably, considering I'm guessing you watched BLTV, has only grown exponentially stronger. What? Like, why would you not join? That just, it feels real weird. And I'm assuming it's literally just so Hiyori doesn't play. But then again, that's the thing. It feels contradictory to what previous arcs involving Sei and previous statements about Sei were. So I'm not the biggest fan of this. Let's see. I have a dream to fulfill, even at the cost of Blue Lock. But, like, you're not making it without Blue Lock. I hate to tell you this, buddy. You really aren't. So, yeah, I'm not. I'll admit, I'm not the biggest fan of that decision. Let's see. Ugh. From now on, only that kind of... See, once again, from now on, only that kind of ego will win. So this is the thing, Bodhisattva, you're wrong, and I'm assuming his whole arc is going to be finding out that he's wrong. Let's see. U20 World Cup is full of speculation. New future. New futures will open only to those who want victory. Okay. To be continued... reunion? Reunion? Okay, so yeah, Nagi, he's getting back next chapter. But I'm gonna give this... You know what? I'm gonna give this one a... it's worthy, but it's like one of the wibbly wobbliest worthies that I've given out for Blue Lock. Usually whenever I say Blue Lock is worthy, you know I pre-draw at the start of every video. It's peak every week. But this chapter does feel a little bit strange within the context of the wider narrative.
even if I can understand how this functions within the context of the wider narrative. Once again, the previous chapter, the one that I'm having like issue with the whole idea of the Batsuta 3 and the idea that Batsuta could bring in Nagi at any point whenever he feels like it. It's weird they had that conversation with Ego. This was already set up well before. Right? Remember, he specifically says, I made this deal with Ego in context and in exchange for me provide the funds for BLTV. Right? Like that means this happened well before the New Aegis League even started. So this was obviously a thing. So what was the point of that previous chapter? And this feels weird, but I know the point of that previous chapter was on a meta-narrative level. The point of that previous chapter was to once again seem to kill and erase any chance of Nagi coming back to really build up hype and suspense and despair for Nagi. But once again, while it worked there in its moment, and meta-narratively it did serve its purpose, you then introduce this, which had to exist before that chapter, making that whole chapter feel weird and especially pointless now. And in a time period where a lot of people are kind of wondering what we're even doing right now, it's a strange choice. I'll really admit it is a strange choice, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that. Number 2, Sei. I'm not the biggest fan of him still being on a high horse. Like, as cool as Sei is, as legendary as the fellow Doobie fell in, it doesn't feel right. But then again, maybe I just don't understand Sei's character. But him not like, and it just seems stupid. Like that's I think that's the big thing for how it's kind of like how I had an issue with Isagi not googling the U20 World Cup members, or no, maybe the U20 World Cup members, but also the new Gen 11. It's a very similar, like, this is kind of funky, I don't like it in that way, where I understand meta narratively why Sei is not being included. Just like I understand meta-narratively why Isagi didn't Google anybody, even though that would be easy and would fit into his character. But I think the reason this hurts more than Isagi is that I think the meta-narrative excuse better lines up with the narrative and fills in a certain part and elaborates on one of Isagi's weaknesses. His willingness and almost like need to adapt on the fly without ever actually doing any research and prep. That has been like a long-standing weakness of Isagi. He's been caught off guard numerous times, when, especially during the New Aegis League, when he should have had tape. He should have tape, he should have had review, he should have known how certain things were going to go, considering the fact that there was literally recordings out there, but he just didn't look. So that being a weakness of Isagi, and very specifically this whole trip by Ego, having Isagi learn and actually watch tape live on the pitch, that's fine. That fits, even if I do think it's weird meta-narratively, or no, weird narratively and character-wise, I can excuse it meta-narratively, and I understand how it still fits into the character. This choice by Sei feels contradictory to the character, and it does feel like kind of shows sense of himself slapping his meta-narrative meat on the table and being like, yeah, we're not going to give you Sei this thing. Because we did just spend up the entire New Aegis League hyping up Fiori, and he's just watered down Sei. And the excuse I'm going to give for that is Sei just doesn't think they're worthy without him. But then, now, that same Sei is going to ride them to victory against Spain, because he wants his run back against Bunny, I'm assuming. So what? Either they're worthy of you or they're not. And I know he's saying, like, oh, this will be a test of their worthiness. Dog, that's what the U20 match was. And they beat you. When you took one of their own. Then they got massive amps over the New Aegis League arc. What do you mean you're not gonna like that is so I'm really not a fan of that. I think it and I guess it plays in like Sei's arrogance like that, like, you know, not the sharpest in the kitchen shed, he still believes he's top dog, even though he's clearly been humbled numerous times. But that is a weird choice. But what saves the chapter and what makes it worthy for me is not only I like the idea of the Batsuta 3 as a concept, even if it does feel weird in contrast. I like Batsuta himself. Like for a character I did not take seriously, I gave him the super Giles voice. I actually do like his character, and I can kind of see his overarching story narrative arc. Like, for a character I really didn't expect to see much of, I'm actually liking him having screen time, developing an ego, having his own hopes and dreams, even if he fails to understand them, and still seeing his, like, rude and callous and cowardly side when it comes to both Nagi and Sei. Like, this is just good character writing. So, like, I appreciate that, so that's a good chunk of why the chapter gets worthiness. And, obviously, the other main focal point of the chapter, Nagi. I disagree with this choice. I think he's probably going to go back on it. like I think he's probably going to do it. But at least in this moment, I like how Nagi's main character flaw, his inability to do anything for himself, only want to do things for others, and only making choices in respect of others, is coming back to backfire on him. He's literally turning down a chance to fulfill his dream because he thinks it'd be wrong to. And he's taking what Bodhisattva says way too literally instead of reading between the lines and/or figuring out his own way to subvert what Bodhisattva wants and prove him wrong. he's being too unselfish in a series about being selfish. So like, I like that. Once again, I like the contrast. Even though I think he's making the wrong choice, I think it's a good thing that he's making the wrong choice and it's lined up with his character so far. So that's just good writing. Once again, 2 examples of peak character writing, even if one does come with a weird bit of narrative contradiction. Meanwhile, the other one just feels weird. I ain't gonna lie. I really don't like the same choice. But that's what y'all are for. Hopefully y'all can justify the same choice for me. But if you met all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave still not worthy? Question mark? Literally, still not worthy. Question mark in the comment section down below. The thing is, what's watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, do have a page down below where you support me for as low as $1. Get them on. Things, exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reactions, so the series I'm to review. I have reactions of all my videos, and if you become a $12 Patreon or $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, the link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below. You drop 5 minutes for a short video, 20 beans, song video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, like, the thing is, what you're watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I would like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, Zera, Brendan Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis 97, Zachary Wilson, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, G Prosper, Swift Strike, Alexicon, Striker Man, and Autumn Mornings Lazo. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Joaquin Munoz and Joaquin Munoz. And a final and thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin's wife. Not Calvin Elder, who ultimately does have one of my kidneys, but now I must know, and I must undergo the process of getting this second one removed, so I can send the other over to this wonderful family.